Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day 9 of NaNoWriMo, which means it's episode 9 of Prisma Arena, the animated series. Or if you want to get specific about it, it's series 2, episode 2 that we're on at the moment. If you want to follow along any of the previous episodes, they've all been uploaded to YouTube. I think you can still get them on Twitch. We're saving them to a playlist on YouTube, and you can follow Eleanor's adventures in the previous episode. This season, I guess, we are following along with Jasan, who's here. So there's a little bit of a lag on the camera. So you can see them here. See if I turn them up a bit more. Yeah, so it catches the light a little bit better. I have been working on the focus of the cameras, and I think I've got it working a little bit better this week. So follow along the adventures of Jasan, and at the end of last week's episode, we discovered, well, yesterday's episode, we discovered that Arius, the ranger who was kind of a triple agent working for Apathy, but had pretended to infiltrate Despair on behalf of Hope, but was actually working for Apathy, was attempting essentially a kind of a coup of the Rangers of Hendon Forest, of which Jasan's father is the captain of the Rangers. His kind of plans were stopped with the help of Jasan and his uncle Fen, and also Ion, the kind of traveling reporter journalist. So I'm going to jump into the second episode. I really don't know. I have some ideas of. I again want Jasan to kind of get to Beacon, but I don't think he's on the same journey that Eleanor was, which was like she knew she was going there. Jasan, I think something has to happen to kind of prompt them there, and the fact that their uncle Fen sees some potential in them might be kind of the spark. So yeah, I'm just going to roll, kind of start with the first scene, which is a dangerous dilemma. I'm really going to just see how it all plays out. I've been kind of mixing around some of the story cubes, but we're still playing with 9, which is our standard for the game. So I think that's everything. Again, if you're watching, it would be great to hear from people if they've seen any of the previous episodes, what they've enjoyed. But I'm going to flip up the first tile, and we're going to begin with a dangerous dilemma. So we have, at some location, a threat is attacking someone or something. Okay. So I'm not even sure if like sometimes I open it where Jasan is traveling, or in previous episodes Eleanor was traveling somewhere and they'd encounter it on the way. I don't know whether this is going to happen off like camera and they're going to be introduced to it or not. So I think the episode opens with there's a couple things going on in my head that I'm trying to think of and parse. So I am going to try and I'm trying to like kind of build out the world a little bit. So I'm going to shift it because part of it is I could kind of start with, I'll bring up close up in the dice tray because they're now in focus. Woo! I could start with the Rangers or Arias because we've kind of got that arrow. But I'm going to say at a laboratory. Okay, I'm just kind of going to go for something a little bit different, I think. So at a laboratory in the neighboring, let me give a name to the place. So it's kind of located in the forest, or kind of on the outskirts of the forest. So it's a location. So the laboratory of my brain is trying to work. Laboratory of, I'm going to look at some of the icons here. So I'm looking at this icon, which kind of represented, I think we had kind of the Eye of Wonder. I'm going to call it the Library of Infinity. It is kind of like an exploratory lab, so I'm kind of making a note of that here for anyone to see. So the Laboratory of Infinity, a mysterious, I think, a large creature is attacking someone or something. So you can see it here, kind of the large creature, and I am going to say it's yeah, I'm gonna go with it is tentacled, but it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of purple, and it's kind of got many eyes on it, and its tentacles are flailing, and it appears to be attacking someone or something. So, and I think there were, I'm actually, so I'm going to ask what kind of brings me to the laboratory, and actually the town. So it's a nearby town. So it is in the town of, is it in Greenlight? Maybe it is. Maybe we'll just say the Library of Infinity is actually in Greenlight, and we're actually called to I'm with my Uncle Fen when he's cold. Let's see kind of, no, I do want it to be a different town, I think. So it is going to be the town of Artekia. Town near Greenlight. So it's kind of under the jurisdiction of the Rangers. So what brings us there? I think, so I actually think my father was going, and for he was basically going there to meet with the monks of Tanal, or the guards of Tanal, and of the Moonshrine, to discuss the kind of the rising issue with the more and more sightings of the Shadows of Despair. And I managed to kind of persuade him to bring me along with him as well. So I'm just going to do a close up there, so you can see these three symbols here. So yeah, I've convinced them to kind of bring me along. When I think this kind of creature bursts out of the laboratory onto the street, and it's attacking someone or something. And this thing is quite big. It's at least a story high. Kind of look up. Yeah. So kind of a story high, tentacled, kind of lashing tentacles. And so I'm going to obviously go who or what is it attacking? So I'm looking at the icons here. What are they attacking? That's mysterious. So I think it's attacking someone from so this one kind of grabs my attention. So I think it's attacking someone from kind of Beacon from the Prisma Arena, and I can kind of tell by the clothes that they're wearing. So who is it from the Prisma Arena? It is a I'm going to say it's kind of one of the. Yeah, I'm going to use that symbol to represent it, kind of like a researcher, so like the apple of knowledge. So they look like they belong to, instead of the kind of the martial aspect of it, it's one of the students who kind of specialize in developing, I think, like kind of researching into the spare. Yeah, so I think it's one of the, I guess, the kind of scientists from the Prisma Arena. Okay, so and you know what? I think actually I'm gonna do it where I've been wandering. So I came with my father, who's having this meeting, and I'm kind of wandering around the town when this happens. And I've been looking at kind of just wandering around, looking at various stalls, and so they're attacking them, and I am going to, again, I guess. So they're coming at me. I have my axe. Oh, what else have I got? I'm able to blend in. So blending in stealthily isn't really going to help me right now. So imagine this kind of the side of the wall kind of bursting open, and the student being kind of thrown across the path in front of me, and this big creature emerges. So I think I'm going to run first to help the researcher and try and get them to safety. So I'm going to give my shuffle of the cards, switch to the top-down view. Yeah, so I'm going to see if I can kind of essentially kind of move them to safety. No, I don't think I have time to do that. And I should take an action to do it. Okay, so I don't have time, and I imagine that the creature lashes out. And so I am going to try and I think throw my axe and hit them with my axe to see if I can just buy ourselves some time. Okay, so I manage, but yeah, all it's done really is kind of I think, anger the creature more. So again, I'm kind of doing it on the basis of I don't. Well, I managed to summon Donna in the last episode. So I'm going to try one more time to kind of, this time I'm going to try and summon Inu so that I can distract them and long enough for me to kind of escape with the kind of researcher or the scientist. Okay, so I summon Inu and they start flying around and flitting around in such a way where they kind of like almost blur in and out, and they manage to distract this giant creature long enough for me to kind of gain some distance. And I'm going to try again to kind of awaken the scientist. So that was my second token. Third token is to try and awaken the scientist. Nope. But okay, so I think they're not fully awake, but they're kind of still groggy. And they don't really know what's going on. So they, yeah, I'm kind of moving slowly. I'm going to see, is there anywhere we can run for cover? So there is the well, I think I'm going to use this to kind of represent the kind of the laboratory. So I'll turn this back on. So, because I'm trying to look, I think. Okay, I think I'm just going to do this. I'm going to kind of keep. So I'm going to basically try and drag him to go and find my father, where he's meeting with the others. But then again, this thing is rampaging, so I kind of need to find a way to, I think, contain it. So I'm going to try and kind of building on the fact that it's distracted with Inu. I think I'm going to yell out for the guards. I think it's a bit bigger. I think it's more than I can actually stop. So I'm going to look, actually, so I'm going to look and see, is there anything around that might help me? So I could run to kind of find my father. Maybe it's kind of pursuing us, but it's actually like kind of causing more damage as it goes. So is there anything I can use to help? Okay, so I'm going to say that I see. So I'm going to look at this in terms of tape, but I'm going to interpret it as. So I kind of go tape, ribbon, rope, or kind of netting. So I see some netting, I think, and I'm going to try and grab that and throw it over the creature as a way of just containing it, I think. Okay, so I managed to do that. So I get a victory. So I managed contain this creature, and it's you're kind of thrashing about, but it's basically held in place. So there's a lot of evil allies in this. And what I so an evil ally. So the research student has an evil ally of some kind. So my brain is saying, I'm trying to think how to connect this in. Do they just kind of appear? Do I follow them? I don't want to do the same things I've done kind of in previous episodes, but I think I kind of have the sense they had something to do with it. So I think someone steps out of the laboratory. So they step out of the laboratory and they're carrying like a kind of a flute. So I'm kind of using this symbol here. I'll put it into the camera. So they're another, they look like they're scientists from the Laboratory of Infinity. And they have I think like a kind of a panpipe type thing that they're using. And they start playing it, and it starts to calm this giant creature down. And I think he comes over and helps their companion back up to their feet. And I mean, I asked them directly. So that's I'm going to introduce this. So there's a scientist, someone who's a kind of researcher from the Prisma Arena. And this other person is a scientist of the Laboratory of Infinity. And I turn to them and go like, what are you doing? Like, with this creature, it almost killed your friend. And I think they basically, this scientist who introduces themselves as Thaloon, I think. And they're the researcher from Prisma Arena. Their name is Natalia. So he helps her to the ground and says, we're researching ways that we can basically control creatures so that we can use them in the war against despair. And well, I asked him like, so they're saying they're creating these creatures in the war against despair, but we haven't quite mastered it yet. As you can see, my dear Nadelia, and he reaches out his hand as she kind of is coming to, and kind of lifts her up, and says, "Yeah, we haven't quite perfected it yet." And my esteemed kind of visitor from Beacon fell foul of that. He said, "But we won't let that stop progress and research." So, I mean, I asked him, like, how many more have you got in there? I'm going to tie a couple of things together. So they said, well, we've been successfully cloning a number of creatures thanks to some funding from our benefactors who've been helping with that. And so how many have we got? So I think they've got kind of scores and scores of these creatures in this building. And yeah, they've been cloning them thanks to the funding, so they've no shortage. And yes, we think we're making good progress on our ability to control them. And my immediate reaction is like, what are you gonna do, like, if you lose control over all of these? And they say, well, what does he say? I think so what are you gonna do if you lose control over them? I think we will. Well, let's say, okay, we've got a round-the-clock watch going on, so protecting them, and we have essentially a backup plan that will immediately and it's really weird because he's kind of like quite proud of all of this stuff. We have a means to, like, we have the technology to basically shift them to kind of another plane or dimension. So I'm kind of using this as a world. Should it all get too much? Okay, so that's not good. There's lots to be concerned about, I think, in terms of what they're telling me. So I need to go and get some help. I think I need to warn somebody. Okay. So I think I'm on my way to find my father and his group, where he's kind of, let's say, at the I think at the lookout, which is a kind of like, I think, a communal area within. Oh, I went to the wrong place. So I need to go. So I think the lookout is a kind of like communal eating area, kind of restaurant, quite large open plan, where my father is meeting with the knights in a kind of informal. It's like they have a kind of back room where they can talk. So I think it's a kind of a large eatery, I guess, in Antiquia. And as I'm on my way to meet him, I think a mysterious, I gotta do this, like, so a mysterious figure captures me. So as I'm kind of making my way there, someone just comes and they kind of bundle a bag over me, and there's just sudden darkness. So first question is, did I get a look? Yeah, so my first thing is, did I get a look at the person? Okay, so I saw them, but I don't think. I think they had like a terrible, who I saw really scared me. So I'm going to use dice to kind of give me some inspiration for this. Okay, so I think it was this is great, a member of the Busy tribe. So it's like, I know I'm in trouble because the Rangers and the Busy do not get on well together. So they bundled me into the bag. So that's my question asked. And they start sorry, that's my question. Okay. So they tell me to kind of be quiet. And I'm trying to ascertain, like, why are they why are they targeting me? So I'm trying to see if they tell me anything. So I think they are looking at the dice here. My immediate reaction is they're taking me hostage. They're keeping me hostage because they want to keep a close eye on me while they try to negotiate with the Rangers of Hendon. or they're trying to keep me out of the way. Yeah, because they are planning to do something with them, or that involves them, and so I'm like a kind of I'm their security, essentially. Okay, so they carry me, so I'm going to try and I can't use my axe. I am going to try and summon, I think, Farg. So I'm going to try and summon Farg. Because I'm kind of scared, but I'm kind of trying to channel that into anger, so that they can essentially be outside of the bag and attack them, so that they'll kind of drop me. No. Okay, but so I don't manage to. I think I summon Farg, but it's not enough to distract them. I think as soon as Farg appears, the busy just kind of like kicks him out of the way, and he runs up, kind of yelping. But I can see that my power is growing, and it's giving me some confidence. So I'm using this here as almost like kind of love and pride with myself. Okay, so they're carrying me to the 10. Really got to get out of here. I'm going to kind of yell for help, I think. And see if anyone can hear. Okay, so I do. So I yell for help, and I hear them being stopped, but I'm kind of dropped to the ground by the busy, and just I kind of come to the ground, and I'm just kind of badly winded by that, and let's see. So they're kind of challenged by a voice. I hear some people outside going, "Hey, what are you doing?" And they I hear a scuffle, and I'm dropped to the ground, hurt. Oh, you know, I think they're being chased, actually. So they're being chased, and because he's running, I'm just kind of getting banged around in the process. So as they're being chased, I'm going to try and use my axe to cut my way. I mean, it's not too hard. It's kind of caught on my side, but I'm going to see if I can manage to use it in a very tight space to try and at least kind of cut a hole in this, because I think the weight and the shaking will cause me to fall out. No, I don't think I'm able to even kind of reach it. So they have successfully captured me. And so I'm going to figure out, I think that was my last action I was able to take. So I'm going to see where they take me. Okay, so I think when I come to, or when they take the kind of hat off, I'm in a kind of a locked room. So I'm not quite sure where I am, but there's more busy there with them. Okay. So, and I discover they have a dark agenda. Maybe just about what happened to me. So I think something to do with Hendon Forest. Okay, so I think I'm going to do a kind of. So what they want to do is they want to regain control of Hendon Forest. I'm going to do a flashback here. I'm flipping over the flashback icon. So I think the Bazee used to live in Hendon Forest and had their they probably covered more of the land in previous times. And I think as over the eras, they were maybe hit hard by I think the time of apathy, and they were, as a result of that, they kind of got pushed back from out of the forest of Hendon, and kind of withdrew to the Malassa Mountains, which is where they had been based, and they planned to take back their kind of rightful place in the Hendon Forest, and they are, they're going to have me as their bargaining chip because they're talking to the captain of the Rangers as they plan to kind of negotiate their deal with them. So how are they? How are they going to try and achieve this? So they plan to kind of move back in to Hendon Forest. How do they plan to do it? Okay, I think they are planning to use the Eye of Wonder as. Are they? So we had this building that happened in or this space that appeared in previous episodes that allowed you to kind of seek out wonder and hope and despair. So maybe. Okay, actually, I'm going to change that a little bit. I think whilst maybe it's happening actually. So maybe while my father's eyes are elsewhere, so the Rangers are here, kind of having their meeting with the monks. The Bazee are going to launch a lightning raid on the forest and use that as a way to gain some control of it, whilst my father's attention is elsewhere. You gotta warn them. Okay. So captured and accused of blame. So I think I'm going to spend my modified token because I definitely want the Bazee in this. So I'm going to, I think, shift this slightly where I'm going to try well, I can do it where the so many ways this can go, and I'm trying to think like what ones would make sense for the story. So we've got options here where I could maybe meet the kind of researcher again. I did turn that to the side of the Bazee. I think actually my modified token is that on the same one. I'm gonna put that back. to the bridge, I think. No, hold on, let's see. So I think the busy have me, and they're going to bring me somewhere. Because I still got to escape them. So I'm going to put them there. No, I want that there because I want to escape from them. So they're going to conduct a lightning raid. So I think they can fly. So I wonder if I could use this. As we did we fly back? Are we flying back? I'm gonna use this one, I think. So I'm gonna use this. So this is kind of like an Earth icon or planet. So it can be kind of planet, space, or like a place. So is it a specific place? Because I could also call it like the Celestian, the like the name of something. So I think at the we're traveling back along the Greenlight River, which runs through Greenlight and Hendon Forest. So as we're traveling along the river, I need to try and escape from these guys again. So I don't think I'm in the bag anymore. I'll blend in stealthily. I think I am going to. I'm actually going to summon Pian, and I'm going to kind of fake, I think, pain and injury to try and get them to stop. So I start trying to kind of I summon them as a signal of my pain and discomfort, and I kind of pretend to kind of retch, I think, and act ill in some way. Okay, so they kind of believe me, but so I think they untie me, but to my, I think someone's horror, it's not on my side. I actually maybe do start becoming. No, they want to. They give me this like disgusting medicine that actually then genuinely makes me sick. So they release me, and yeah. Well, no. So maybe they actually. So they check and they realize, and they say they'll actually do a bloodletting on me, which is their way of kind of treating. No, they'll use their poison. So they have, because they're kind of waspish creatures, I think they say that, oh yeah, mild dose of our poison will help you. And so they inject me with that. So I think my clock is ticking. And well, so they threaten to do it, and I back away. So I'm going to see, whilst they're looking at me, can I so I imagine they're kind of flying and hovering with me, and I'm going to see if I can try and dash maybe and dive into the river to try and escape from them. Okay, I do. So I dive into the river, and I think I'm kind of wading through the water, and I hide long enough until they give up searching for me. Yeah, I think they're looking around, and they it starts to grow dark, and they say we must excuse me, we must continue to Hendon and join our brothers and sisters in the raid. So as night falls, I step out and start making my way towards Hendon, or to kind of green light. When I bump, I think I run into the researcher from Prisma Arena. And they is them or the scientist? I think it's gonna be the scientist. So I think I'm running back towards Artiquia to basically warn my father about what's happening. And as I run back to the city, I think as I'm kind of nearing the place, the lookout, I am stopped basically by Feloon. The scientist is not so fast, my friend. And they say, they're going to say, they said, like, you're not to say a word about what you saw today to your father, because if the Rangers get word of this, they might not see the value of it the way we do, because they're too arrogant to realize that they need help in the fight against despair, and how technology can help us to how science and technology can help with this. They're caught in their old ways of tradition and light and hope and blah yada yada yada. It's going to take more than that to push back despair, so that we can kind of usher in not just a time of hope, but a time of wonder as well, where we can kind of enjoy the fruits of our research and scientific progress. I tried to break free and go like, you're crazy. So they I'm unable to break free, and I think they take my arm behind me, and say, you've already lost one arm. Do you want to lose another? I can feel it almost breaking. And they say, well, if you can't be trusted to keep quiet, then I think we're just going to have to keep you quiet permanently. And so they start kind of frog stepping me back to the back to their laboratory. And they've got a kind of a hand over my mouth, and my arm cut up like really high behind me, so I'm kind of bent over. And I am going to try and headbutt them. I think so. I'm going to try and like whack my head back. So I managed to hit them. And I kind of push away from them, but they laugh. They just say, you know what? Tell your father. They're not going to know. And there's nothing they can do to stop us. We have powerful supporters who do want to see this happen. And they believe in what we're doing. So yes, run away, little child. You're nothing in the grand scheme of things. And I think my anger gets the better of me, and I'm gonna call Farg. And yeah, so I kind of feel okay. So I'm standing there in front of them. They're kind of essentially belittling me, and I think I can feel this kind of welling up inside me of this anger, but it's more than that, and it's bigger than me. And this huge blast of light emerges from me as Farg kind of appears, far bigger than me. And yeah, I think Farg kind of tears back towards. I'm kind of assuming we're at the laboratory now, and he tears through the laboratory, just like pulling stuff apart, and destroying the the building. And I'm kind of looking on like, oh, I didn't think it was going to be as bad as that. And the Falloon is looking on like completely horrified at all of their work just being torn asunder by this kind of Farg who's almost twice the size of a human, just tearing around this building. Oh, and I should show you, just so you all know, this is Farg here. Oh, it's just there. So imagine a big one of them just like bending around and tearing the place apart. And I think I'm going to run based on that, to try and find my father and the monks. Okay, so I think I'm in hot pursuit, and I'm kind of racing through the buildings, and I think I managed to get to the lookout, but I don't lose the Falloon. They managed to stay with me, and they essentially accused me of destroying their buildings. And he's your son. He's out of control. He's after destroying my laboratory. Who's going to pay for this? And my father kind of walks over to Falloon and says, calm down. And he kind of, you can see him summon his calming Mokon, and he turns Falloon away and says, let me buy you a drink, and let us discuss how we can rectify this matter. And my father looks and scowls at me. And my Uncle Fen is there, and I explain to him what happened. And he listens and he nods and says, it seems like your true powers are beginning to manifest. We're going to have to watch this carefully. You're going to need some help. Help that I and your father cannot aid you with. And in the distance, we see one of the monks. So I'm going to say Meeker, actually, who we saw in the first episode. He's looking over, and Meeker comes over and says, I met someone a lot like you not so long ago. Maybe I can help you. And he says, let me introduce you to the monks. And I think I can look at my uncle. My uncle looks at me, and he nods, like this is the right thing to do. And I think meanwhile, in the distance, we see Falloon like storming off in anger. He hasn't been able to convince my father, or I don't know what's happened, but he hasn't gotten what he wanted from that. And I think we're going to call the episode there then. That's interesting. Summoning the kind of let my anger get the better of me, and Farg became quite destructive, I guess, in a kind of potentially helpful way, but I suspect it's going to have repercussions for Jisan and many others further down the line. And I do have an idea of who the backers are who are supporting this, but we'll see how that kind of plays out over the course of the series. So that's it. So that's now episode 9 of Prisma Arena, the animated series, and second episode of the second season. Again, I'll kind of write up my notes. I think Jisan is going to get some new abilities on this. So actually, I'll do that now, because I think he definitely now has the ability to channel Prisma. And I think, well, actually, it's more not so much channel Prisma, but it's more like summon Mokon. So you can definitely summon Mokon, but I'm going to say it is kind of like it's unstable so far. And what else can I give him after that second episode? So he can summon Mokon, and they can. I think his Uncle Fen is going to give him something. I think he is going to give him a. I'm just going to roll. I'm going to grab some of these star cubes. See what he gets. I think I'm going to use this and kind of say it's a shield, like a Prisma shield. So it's something that's quite small, but can kind of like, you almost like wear like a ring or like a band, and it converts into a shield. So I think he's going to give him a Prisma shield, just because he's saying you have to get a habit of getting yourself into trouble, and hopefully this will protect you and keep you safe. Okay, that was interesting. And again, I love seeing the world of Prisma Arena and Solace grow around me, and tying in threads from different groups. So, I mean, we do actually have, just in terms of events and, well, more importantly, threads, there's basically a lightning raid. Sorry, I should have remembered that. There's a lightning raid on Hendon Forest. So actually, just to kind of edit that ending a little bit, I think when I finally get to my father, so after I kind of escape from Falloon and race back to my father, to edit the ending a little bit, I think I tell them about the raid on that the Bazee are planning a lightning raid, and we need to hurry, like we're already too late. So I think the raid is in progress, and as I'm explaining it, my father gets a call as well. So I think it's the equivalent of a kind of a hollow prismatic kind of walkie-talkie type thing. And he actually, instead of kind of talking nicely with Falloon, he just pushes him out of the way and says, "I don't have time for this." And he pushes him, and we leave for Hendon. And I think it's on that journey that my uncle says to me about your powers are growing, but you need help with controlling them. And I think that's when, and again, that's when Meeker offers to help. Yeah, I think that's a stronger ending and ties it back into what was actually going on. Sometimes I get distracted with what's happening, but we definitely need to deal with this attack or raid on Hendon Forest by the Bazee. But that's going to be hopefully in tomorrow's episode. Okay, so thanks everybody. And again, if you want to follow what we're doing, you can find us on social media as We Are Hub Games. We're currently running a competition to give away multiple copies of Prisma Arena. So you can find that on social media. Prisma Arena itself, it will be available to buy early December. You can pre-order right now, actually. And if you do it through your store, you'll get a really nice set of custom figures. We are live streaming Prisma Arena every Friday at 2 p.m. where myself and Michael are kind of leveling up our characters over multiple sessions, so you can actually see how the characters grow and change and how we're using our powers and abilities. Untold is available to buy right now, and it is such a wonderful tool. And if you have any story cubes, they just become expansion sets for that as well. So yeah, there's the box right. Hang on. Nope, this hand just there. Yeah, there. Hopefully you can see its flexibility. I'm playing with Prisma Arena, but if you wanted to create any other kind of setting or universe, you can do it with that as well, whether it's a universe of your own creation or some other existing IP as well. And you can see how I'm mixing in and out different sets of story cubes to change up the nature of the story as well. So yeah, so hopefully see you back here tomorrow for the next episode, or we will see you on Friday, or Wednesday nights we do our regular hangout as well, and you can catch us there. I always forget to say this, but if you like what you're seeing, like and subscribe. Drop your comments below as well. And yep, see you back here tomorrow. Take care. Bye. Wave as I hit stop.